Too big to fail? U.S. officials worry about the survival of Intel as AMD gains ground in data center market. Environmental and regulatory issues hinder large data center growth. Google Cloud makes multi-factor authentication mandatory. And the Pentagon seeks AI to support nuclear weapon systems. What could possibly go wrong with that? Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Amid financial struggles and growing competition, Intel faces potential intervention from U.S. policymakers who see the chip giant as crucial to national security and technological independence. The company, which is slated to receive substantial funding from the CHIPS Act, has raised concerns that the funds may arrive too late to stabilize its operations. Intel recently reported a $16.6 billion net loss, and while it's announced plans to debut its 18A chip next year, federal officials worry about Intel's long-term competitiveness. Intel remains central to U.S. efforts to secure the semiconductor supply chain. Unlike companies like NVIDIA, which rely on third-party manufacturers in Asia, Intel produces chips domestically, reducing reliance on foreign suppliers. This makes Intel strategically significant amid rising tensions with China over Taiwan, where Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, produces many of the world's cutting-edge chips. Intel's challenges are compounded by its weakening position in the data center market, where AMD recently surpassed it in sales for the first time. AMD's EPYC processors have gained traction over Intel's Xeon CPUs, driving AMD data center revenue to $3.5 billion in Q3 2024 compared to Intel's $3.3 billion. Just 2 years ago, Intel's data center group consistently outpaced AMD, earning up to $6 billion per quarter. AMD's momentum has pressured Intel to discount its Xeon chips, already substantially more expensive than AMD, to stay competitive, which has further squeezed margins. To prevent Intel's decline, U.S. policymakers are exploring potential options, including a possible merger or further financial support. Some have suggested that Intel merge its design operations with rivals, although industry veterans like former Intel CEO Craig Barrett have voiced skepticism, warning that such a move could weaken Intel's research capabilities. Others argue that increased subsidies, similar to those in the 2008 auto industry bailout, might be necessary to preserve Intel's role in the U.S. tech landscape. Intel's challenges underscore the balancing act for U.S. policymakers, supporting a critical national player while maintaining free market principles. With competition from AMD and NVIDIA intensifying, Intel's future may depend on both private innovation and public intervention. Meta's ambitious plans for a nuclear-powered AI data center in the U.S. were halted after surveyors discovered a rare bee species at the proposed site. The project, which was set to use emissions-free nuclear energy to support Meta's AI-driven infrastructure, was paused as environmental regulators flagged the discovery, highlighting the unexpected impact of ecological concerns on a major tech project. This delay underscores several key issues. Tech companies are grappling with the enormous energy demands of AI, which are pushing firms like Meta towards nuclear power solutions, and the incident reflects how ecological and regulatory hurdles can disrupt even large-scale tech infrastructure efforts. Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, acknowledged the setback, noting that regulatory obstacles had compounded the project's complexity. Tech companies have faced increasing scrutiny over their energy consumption, with AI infrastructure adding to emissions. Microsoft, for instance, reported a 29% rise in greenhouse gas emissions since 2020, attributed largely to new AI data centers. Google has seen up to a 48% rise in pollution from its data centers since 2019. And meanwhile, AI-enabled search queries are estimated to require up to 10 times the energy of a standard search. Meta isn't the only tech giant seeking nuclear energy or finding problems in doing that. Microsoft is advancing plans to revive Pennsylvania's 3 Mile Island plant, and Amazon has invested $650 million in a partnership with the Susquehanna nuclear plant. However, Amazon's project also faces regulatory challenges. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, recently denied an agreement that would have allowed Amazon to connect directly to the power plant, citing risks of grid reliability issues and potential cost increases for other customers. With the delays and obstacles holding up the ability to tap into and revive large nuclear plants, companies are investigating other options, including small modular nuclear reactors. These plants, while promising, are still in their early stages and may yet face their own delays and obstacles. This may ultimately become one of the major obstacles to AI and cloud growth. Even if companies can bring data centers online fast enough to meet the huge demand for computer cycles, dealing with the regulatory and environmental challenges of finding power sources for these new data centers may be the ultimate challenge. Starting in January, Google Cloud users will no longer be able to rely solely on passwords. Google Cloud is mandating multi-factor authentication for all accounts, forcing the approximately 30% of its customer base that is yet to adopt MFA to add this extra layer of security. The move reflects Google's belief that MFA, long encouraged by cybersecurity experts, will drastically improve cloud account security. By January, all Google Cloud users currently signing in with just a password will be required to implement MFA solutions. Multi-factor authentication is a well-established method for increasing security using a secondary form of verification to prove a user's identity. Google first introduced two-factor authentication for its users in 2011, evolving it into more secure forms like phishing-resistant security keys and even passkeys. While enabling two-factor authentication has been optional for consumer accounts, Google Cloud now deems it crucial for every user due to the nature of data hosted in cloud environments. This move is backed by data from Google's Mandiant Threat Intelligence Team and government agencies like the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, which found that users who use MFA are 99% less likely to be hacked. As part of the rollout, Google Cloud will also require MFA for users leveraging federated authentication. Here, Google is offering flexibility by allowing customers to choose whether to use MFA through their identity provider or directly through Google's system. And finally, an article in the tech publication TechSpot says the Pentagon plans to integrate artificial intelligence into nuclear command and control, aiming to enhance decision-making and manage vast sensor data, according to the U.S. Strategic Command Leader, General Anthony J. Cotton. Despite these plans, Cotton reassured that AI would never control nuclear weapons directly, stating, "We must never allow artificial intelligence to make those decisions for us." AI's role will focus on speeding up data processing, which is increasingly essential as cybersecurity threats grow. However, the risks remain, with concerns over AI's potential for unexpected behaviors, as recent conflict simulations have shown. The U.S., alongside Britain and France, aims to keep a clear and strong commitment to keep nuclear control in human hands. But hey, using an AI to help control your nuclear arsenal, what could possibly go wrong with that? As an answer to that, the best part about the TechSpot article is the subtitle that says, "Don't these people watch movies?" And that's our show for today. You can reach me at editorial@technewsday.ca. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.